So you're looking to make that classic trip from Bangkok down to the beaches of Pattaya. Awesome choice. But with so many ways to get there, it can honestly get a little confusing. We're going to break it all down so you can figure out the absolute best way for you to make that journey. You've decided to go, which is the easy part. But then you hit the first big question: how exactly are you getting there? You've got buses, vans, trains, taxis, and each one has its own price tag and its own travel time. It can feel like a real puzzle before you've even packed your bags. And we're not talking about just a handful of options here. Get this. Between all the different companies and types of transport, there are over 200 departures from Bangkok to Pattaya every single day. That is a staggering amount of choice. So let's try to make some sense of it all. All right, first up, let's compare your ride. We're just gonna look at what the options look like on paper, based purely on the advertised price and how long they say it's gonna take. Okay, so right off the bat, you can see how things shake out. The bus, the van, and the train, they're all kind of clustered together in this super affordable $4 to $6 range. And then, whoa, you've got the taxi, a massive jump up to around $50, but it promises to shave off almost an hour of travel time. And wow, this chart really puts that price gap into perspective, doesn't it? A private taxi is basically 10 times more expensive than just hopping on a bus or a van. So it brings up the obvious question: is that huge price difference actually worth it? When you strip it all away, this is the fundamental trade-off. You can make the trip for about the price of a fancy coffee, or you can get there, at least in theory, in almost half the time. This is the big decision every traveler has to make. Are you trying to save money, or are you trying to save time? But as any experienced traveler knows, the schedule is, well, it's more of a suggestion, right? The reality on the road can be a whole different ballgame. So let's dig into what travelers are actually saying, because their reviews, that's where the real story is. First things first, let's be fair. The overall picture is actually pretty positive. As you can see, a whopping 81% of reviews are either 4 or 5 stars. So the vast majority of people have a perfectly good trip. But it's in that other 19% where we find the really valuable warnings. And this seems to be a recurring theme. One traveler, Xenia, pointed out that her trip took a full hour longer than it was supposed to because the driver kept making personal stops. It's a great reminder that the fastest time you see online doesn't always account for, real-world detours. And sometimes the headaches can start before you even get moving. Nigel here describes the scene at the Ekamai bus station as just chaotic, with a queuing system that barely exists. It just goes to show your travel time doesn't begin when the engine starts. Or how about this experience from Dana? After an already delayed trip, the driver just dropped them off on a main road, not even at the station, because he said he had to go somewhere else. It's a pretty stark reminder that the service you pay for isn't always the service you end up getting. And finally, this is a direct warning from Rebecca. Her group was flat out told there was no room on the bus they'd already booked and they'd just have to wait an hour for the next one. Her advice is simple and to the point. Don't overbook seats. It really highlights that booking systems aren't always foolproof. Okay, so we've seen the numbers on paper, and we've heard some of the not-so-great real-world stories. It can all seem a bit unpredictable, can it? So let's switch gears. Instead of just worrying about the problems, let's build your pre-trip toolkit. These are the things you can control to make your entire trip a whole lot smoother. Let's start with the priciest option. If you're gonna shell out that kind of cash for a taxi's speed and convenience, how do you make absolutely sure you get what you paid for? It really comes down to 3 simple but crucial steps. 1, always agree on the fare before you get in or insist on using the meter. No surprises. 2, if you can, travel outside of peak traffic hours. Think early morning or later in the evening. And 3, make sure the driver clearly understands your exact destination in Pattaya before you even pull away. Now, planning a smart trip goes way beyond just the ride. What you're planning to do when you get there can actually influence your choice. For instance, knowing what to pack might tell you if you can squeeze into a van or if you really need a bus with more luggage space. So, what's the deal with the dress code in Pattaya? The good news is, it's pretty simple. Pattaya is a tourist city, so casual wear like shorts is totally fine almost everywhere. The main thing you need to remember is to cover your knees and shoulders if you plan on visiting any temples. And, of course, light, breathable fabrics are going to be your best friend in that Thai heat. Here is another one of those big planning questions that can really impact your travel choices. Are you planning on doing some serious shopping? Because where you decide to do that shopping will determine just how much stuff you're going to be dragging back with you. Here's the simple version. Do all your major shopping in Bangkok. You'll get way more variety and much better prices. You should save Pattaya for convenience buys and all the beach-related stuff, like souvenirs or a new swimsuit. Thinking about this ahead of time will help you figure out what kind of transport you'll need for the trip back. And so we end up right back here. After looking at the data, reading the real-world reviews, and going over the tips, it all boils down to a very personal choice. As you plan your trip from Bangkok to Pattaya, just ask yourself this. What are you really trying to optimize? Is it the absolute lowest cost, the fastest possible arrival, or is it just the peace of mind that comes with a smooth, hassle-free journey? The best choice is simply the one that's right for you.